I thought I would try to videotape some of my yard, even though it's very small. But as you come to the back, I have my elephant ears, my bird bath that was my grandmother's, and the top of it was my mother's, just recently painted. That's a canna lily that I brought from Faith Home that means a lot to me. As you can see, my angels in the background. But this is our deck. Underneath right now I have some elephant ears growing, tiger lily, or oriental lily I should say. And this has been my beautiful hydrangea. It's starting to turn pink now, which I love. I had this one at City Hall, and so I rooted it. And this is the first year that it's really bloomed. Just planted a hydrangea right here where we used to have a heat pump, so I hope it's going to do well. And I'll just show you my deck because it's always a joy. I don't even have my fountain on right now or my lights, but I just kind of started to do this on the spur of the moment. But this is where we enjoy looking and watching the birds every morning, every evening. I have a tomato plant growing right there. As you can see, we have a bird feeder right there. And as you walk out here, this is really our more natural area. This is just a mixture of things that grow in the shade. And of course, I love my angel. This angel's brought me so much joy through the years. Japanese fern that I just rooted there. And the gardenia's about to bloom out, but they've been really pretty this year. And all in the back is just very natural. The spirea bushes there are not blooming now, but have a new bird bath in between those. And this is our fire pit area. And this is where the tree fell from behind the fence there and broke my other bird bath. So we had to replace that. Have some elephant ears coming up. And my endless summer hydrangea, which is a blue. They're very easy to grow. It's doing well this year. That's a snowball bush that was beautiful in early spring. And then down here in our natural area, I have an old tub that actually used to be in my parents' house when they first started out. And I got that tub a few years ago, so I've got some hosta in it and usually put a few impatiens in it. Another bird feeder. And this is just more of my shade garden. Some hosta, Solomon seal that a friend gave me, elephant ears. Got a new fern growing down here. And I love ferns, so I have several different ones. Another of my mom's figurines there. A new plant, Jack Frost, that I've always wanted to get, so we bought this year up in Hendersonville. Another fern. And all our azaleas are bloomed out now. But this is our backyard that we enjoy very much. Here I have a beautiful begonia that we bought last year on our trip to Nashville, and it came back. I was so excited. And then, of course, we have a little storage building down here. That's the base of my bird bath that broke. And right here we have Confederate jasmine growing on the fence that smells heavenly. Every summer it just is a delight to smell. few gladiolus there. And this is a vacant lot that we have next to us that we try to maintain, even though it's not ours. But down below there is a swamp area, or a little creek, and Wayne loves that area. But this is the rest of my perennial beds and where I grow zinnias this year. Every year I do a few things differently. But these are my favorite daylilies right here. They're just gorgeous. This is an old brass bed that was my mom's. And so this year, this is where I usually put zinnias. I decided to grow a few vegetables. So I've got a few tomato plants, squash, and cucumbers in here. Just various things with lots of weeds right now, but my zinnias are coming up. I've got a ornamental banana tree that I bought. I'm anxious to see how it does. I've never had a banana tree. But these are my zinnias coming up from seed. Bee balm, daylilies. There's my bottle tree that I dearly love. Got some Joe Pye weed, salvia, my pretty little pink rose that I've got 2 of those that I love. They just are beautiful. I'll never have to do anything to them. And just got a mixture of stuff. And then my cleome's coming up. It's already coming up on the bank really well, mixed in with daylilies. A few more gladiolus down there. My daylilies, I've got to rearrange this fall. I've got to separate them. They've just taken over and they've gotten too big, and I've got some. My red ones are about to bloom right here. They're the tall ones, but they need to be in the back, so I've got to do some moving. But as you can see, sorry, I got my trash can set out to take to the road. The cleome is beautiful right now. It's started blooming. I've got some lavender right there. Got some zinnias coming up. And then, of course, a mixture of daylilies. Lots of traffic that goes flying by. Coneflowers. I love my coneflowers. And I've got a late Amarillo right there. I don't know why. That's the only one that came late. All my others were beautiful this year, but that one's late. And then this blue flower is called a Stokes aster. And at night it kind of closes up, and I hate the way it falls over, but it's a pretty flower. I just don't like how it won't stand up. But again, I just have this mixture of everything in these beds. Originally it was to keep from having to cut so much grass on this bank, but it's just as much work. There's a little wren over there in the house. Can you see? Oh yeah. That's the Confederate jasmine all around that bird house. But these lilies I just love. So again, there's the cleome that I just love. It comes back every year. It's kind of taken over in some areas, but I love it. Got a few canna lilies there. And then in the front here is some more kind of shaded, partial shade, but afternoon sun. This little guy I've had for a long time. He was my mother's at one time, but there's my fairy house under the steps, and it lights up at night. And that was a something my mom had, and so I brought it here and made it a fairy house. The bird bath there was, Wayne bought that for me when I had breast cancer in 2007, so it has some special memories associated with it. And this year I'm just doing some small zinnias in here, just a mixture, which I love zinnias. Again, it's a hodgepodge of perennials. The elephant ears I brought from City Hall. They're beautiful. They'll get huge. My butterfly bush, my cigar plant, a small yellow canna there, the blue salvia the hummingbirds love. And really there's nothing extraordinary up here. Camellia bush. I have another one that I brought from my friend Mitch Reed's house that I think I rooted or I dug it up. I can't remember. It was just a little tiny thing, but it's right here on the side of the porch, so I'm hoping this year it might bloom. And wisteria, I have a late blooming wisteria right there, so it hasn't bloomed yet. And I just have hosta here, which I love hosta. And of course our front porch, where we spend lots of time sitting and watching all the traffic go by. But this is my simple little yard, which right now has lots of weeds that I need to pull. But I'll have to do another tour when I have some more things blooming down below.